Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon or good evening, as you might be in different time zones joining this mini retreat from different places in the world. I would like to welcome you to this mini retreat. My name is Nikki Mirghafori, and I'm delighted to be joining you in this moment. So, as many of you might have seen in the chat already, as I put in the chat, all the IRC resident volunteers, all the RVs are sitting a 2-week retreat at this time. So the setup is a little different for this week. And actually I'm sitting the retreat partially, but stepping out to teach various things such as this retreat and supporting all of our practice. So because all the RVs are on retreat, we did not have a tour of the IRC. Instead, we wish them well. We can imagine them sitting in the hall right now. I put a photograph of the IRC meditation hall up earlier, and we can imagine them sitting at IRC and imagining ourselves joining the resident volunteers in this very hour, as well as almost 100 people who are sitting this 2-week retreat. So let's imagine that we're all joining together and practicing together at this at various retreats held, quote unquote, held at IRC. So the invitation is not just a fanciful one. You might take it as that and might give you some delight, but really to help us feel a sense of community, that we are a part of community, not just the community of people who are joining right now on YouTube, but a much larger community of people who are practicing right now, sitting in retreat and setting their intentions towards waking up, towards more ease, more freedom, more compassion, more kindness, more service for all beings and including ourselves. So to feel the interconnection, feel the strength of the connection to Sangha. So we'll be exploring a few themes today for our practice together. Somewhat related to the theme that actually Gil has been exploring in the 7 a.m. Practices, in the 7 a.m. Guided meditations. So the themes explored there this week are about relaxing, letting go. So we will start today, as always, by getting into the body, relaxing into the body, this first and most important foundation of mindfulness, to really find home in our bodies. And then we open up later to considering the theme of offering up, opening our hands instead of a tight fist, is offering up, opening up, as a synonym for letting go, which is actually more easy because letting go somehow seems like you have to let go, whereas offering up, opening your hand, holding with gentleness, whatever is arising, even if it's pain in the body, etc. So this sense of opening up, holding with generosity, and linking then the idea of generosity, the open hand, which isn't just about giving money. We always, perhaps that's the first place our minds go. Not about that, but a generosity of spirit, offering this openness of heart to ourselves, to what arrives in our experience, field of experience. And of course, offering it to others, the spirit of generosity. So connecting, relaxing, offering up generosity and generosity of spirit as a pillar of joy, The happiest people I've known in my life are really those who embody and have embodied generosity of spirit in the way of treating others, treating themselves, just to treating life with a open-heartedness. And the generosity of spirit can refer to both compassion, forgiveness, the perspective we take in life, etc. So, without further ado, let's start meditating together and joining the 100 and some people who are sitting right now. So, I'd like to invite you to get into your meditation posture. Finding well-rootedness in your sit bones. Landing in this body. However it's feeling in this moment. Whether there are pains, creaks, discomforts present, whether there's ease in some areas present, softness, openness, landing into your sit bones, your bottom, turning the gaze inward, connecting with the earth, in lieu of the seat, or rather through the seat, the sit bones, the cushion, the chair, connecting to the earth. Allowing the spine to be straight, to have a sense of integrity, and there to be sense that there's a thread connected to the top of the head. Gently Straightening the spine. You don't have to do anything. It's just, you're sitting straight all by itself. And the rest of the body, all the muscles, the soft tissue can relax and soften. Relaxing, softening. Inviting the hands to relax and soften. Offering up any tension, any holding in the hands. Offering up. As if you were putting them on an altar where the Buddha of compassion, Kuan Yin, are sitting. Offering any tightness or holding to be held with care and compassion. Relaxing the arms, the shoulders, the neck. Letting them feel heavy and held. If any tightness or pain, offering that up too, to be put on the altar of care and compassion. Inviting your face to relax, soften for the forehead. To become smooth, as if stretched out. The eyes relaxing, offering up any tension. The jaws, the jaw, the inside muscles, the muscles inside your face, your jaw, to relax. Deep, deep relaxation. Deep letting go of any holding as the foundation of making ourselves available for deep listening, deep awareness, deep presence in this moment. Letting gravity pull down on the face. No need to wear any expression in this moment. Letting a deep sense of healing to happen for the face, for the social masks we often wear. Deep letting go in this moment. No need. Moving down through the neck, inviting the chest as it receives the breath to relax with the out breath, and the abdomen, the chest and abdomen, the upper back and the lower back. Receiving the breath, the in-breath and with the out-breath. Letting go of any holding or tension. The chest, the back, lower back, the abdomen especially. Letting the next 5 breaths to be an act of renunciation on the out-breath. Gentle renunciation, letting go of tensions, holdings. Moving down, letting there be a deep relaxation in the sit bones. With the out breath, opening up, as if opening up the cells, the pores internally. The groin area, offering up the weight into the seat, to the cushion. Letting the whole sit bones area be held heavy. Putting down, healing. And 2 with the legs, feeling as if tension is flowing down. And opening up to ease, spaciousness, relaxation. The legs, the feet, connected to the earth. Now the entire body, bringing awareness to the entire body. The in-breath feeling a sense of appreciation, goodwill. Maybe a sense of generosity of heart, receiving the in-breath, just subtle, don't try too hard. And at the out-breath, letting go deeply. If any tension has crept in anywhere in the body, especially letting go of that area. Let's take the next 10 breaths, counting, to let go more deeply with the out breath. And if thoughts and emotions arise, can we also offer them up with kindness, with compassion? Put them on the altar to be held with care. We don't have to hold them. We don't have to ruminate in this moment. Or if there are pains in the body or anything else, as they're received with the in-breath and offered up gently with care, with tenderness, put on the altar. And for the last moments of this sit, offering up, putting on the altar any expectations or any judgments that may be coming up right now about how this period was or wasn't. You tried, you've done your best. So with appreciation and generosity of spirit, thanking yourself, appreciating yourself for having showed up as best you've been able to. Thank you for your practice, everyone. So, for the walking meditation period of our retreat, my invitation is to experiment with the same theme of relaxation and offering up with every step. So as you take a step onto the earth, imagine your foot is relaxing into the earth. Your body is relaxing into the earth. If you need to slow down your walking a little bit to experiment with this, see what it feels like, what it brings up, relaxing into the earth. And also offering up, as if with every step, as you're relaxing into the earth, you're also offering up your sense of lightness, instead of heaviness, lightness, offering up worries, offering up stories, offering up tensions with each step getting lighter, as if with each step your heart, your mind is shedding more, is getting lighter and lighter. Play around with that. See what happens. And if it's not working, don't worry about it. Let go of that. Shed that. Offer that up. Put that on the altar. Instead of, it's not working, just offer that up. See how this relationship of generosity of spirit offered to ourselves might work. Okay. So we'll be, let's take 20 minutes. So let's actually be back 5 minutes to the hour. So for those in California, we'll be back at 10:55. And wherever else you are, please calculate for yourself. We'll be back at 5 minutes to the hour. Enjoy your walk. Welcome back, everyone. So, continuing our retreat together, landing back into our sitting posture and seamlessly moving from a walking meditation to a sitting meditation. Notice if you need to adjust your posture in order to be comfortable and in order to sit tall for your spine to be straight. Landing, arriving again and again, each and every moment. Landing. The body. Receiving the breath with awareness, with ease. Softening, letting go, relaxing at the out breath. In this period, as we sit, as we open up our senses, our awareness, a sense of ease, relaxation in the body, letting go of tension, of holding tightness. Now we also open up our hearts, our perspectives. Further to this sense of openness of spirit, generosity of spirit. Sense of brightness, this perspective that's more expansive. Than just the tunnel vision of wanting what I want. Sense of spacious generosity. So the invitations are as you sit, receiving the breath, quiet, expansive. If thoughts, emotions, states of mind arise, that have to do with a contraction of wishing, wanting, kind of a tightness, felt like a tight fist. Can there be a sense of generosity offered to the tight fist? Can it be held with a sense of the perspective of care, compassion, love? Oh, sweetie, this hurts. This wanting really hurts. This generosity of spirit that's understanding, kind, and care. Apply to the tightness. Notice I'm not suggesting that you try to open the fist. That doesn't work very well. But to offer, hold it with kindness, understanding, compassion, so that it can relax in time. If you notice there is ill will towards yourself, towards others, and the thoughts that come up, can you breathe with a sense of kindness, generosity, thinking of the goodness of yourself, if it's ill will towards yourself, judgment, or the goodness of others, if you're feeling judgmental towards them. Basically, the invitation is to sit, to expand the possibility of spirit of generosity. Generosity of spirit. We'll explore in silence together. If you find that there are a lot of thoughts arising, can there be a sense of humor in seeing them and gently coming back to the body, the breath, spacious awareness? Another expression of generosity of spirit. Kind humor, levity, laughter, as if the heart is giving of itself and seeing the brightness, lightness of the situation. I'd like to invite you, as you're sitting, receiving the breath in a relaxed body, to imagine it's a little magic Buddha butterfly that flies and lands on the middle of your chest, ever so gently, sitting, landing on your heart center. As it sits and moves its wings in your heart of hearts. This Buddha butterfly awakens, generosity of spirit that's available to you, moving through your body, through your veins, through your mind. Unlocks, unleashes. Maybe you sit up straight a little more. Embodying this wealth that you have to offer yourself and the world, to both beings and also whatever arises. This wealth of humor, humility, kindness, giving the benefit of the doubt, generosity of spirit, larger, kinder perspective, showing up for yourself and others. With grace, generosity, and beauty. That is given to you, that you have, without having done anything to deserve it. It's just there, shining out. In the last moments of this practice, appreciating, taking a moment to deeply appreciate how generosity of spirit has just as much or even more to do with our perspective, our thoughts, our words and actions, than just what we own. We each have so much to give. The kindness of our thoughts, our perspectives, our words, our deeds, as a source of nourishment and strength for ourselves and to serve the world. We are resourceful beyond our wildest imaginations. And may our resourcefulness, our goodness, all our generosities of spirit support us in waking up, having more ease, freedom, and joy, and to serve all beings everywhere, whatever their background, race, color, gender identity, economic status, etc., etc. May our goodness support us and serve the world. Thank you all for your practice this morning, this day, together. So I'd like to say a few words about the themes that we cover and we connect together in our practice, in case you wish to take them forward to the rest of your day and sit with them, contemplate, perhaps meditate with them. And then I will open up the floor to reflections and questions. So there are different interconnected themes that we explored today together. And to put them together, to connect them, we started with the idea, with the practice of settling in the body, relaxing the body, relaxing and letting go, offering up any tension, any holding. And first and foremost, starting with landing and grounding in the body. And in fact, as I'm speaking right now, if you realize you're not grounded in the body, if you're not feeling your abdomen, if you're not feeling your sit bones, if you're not feeling your feet on the ground, I'd like to invite you to feel yourself, feel your body from the inside, it's not very difficult to both hear and have a sense of being connected, embodied at the same time. In fact, it can help the listening land more deeply, more spaciously when you feel embodied. So we began our practice with bringing in a sense of embodiment. And the embodiment really opens up, and our minds can become more available, more settled, more available for calm and for noticing, for being aware when the body is relaxed. So the relaxation both serves to open up, make more available awareness to calm. The saying that when the body is relaxed, the mind can relax. So that's one aspect, that's one way to see the value of relaxing the body when we start meditating and throughout, checking out to see if any tension has crept in. And another aspect of that is that the idea of relaxation, when we relax, we let go, as if we open up, we offer up. We relax, we let go, we offer up tension. And that idea of offering up, opening up, is a crucial realization that we can have about this practice. When there is a tightness in the mind, when the mind is tight and pained, there's a sense of contraction in the body. So by opening up, opening up the body, the sense of ease in the body, we invite the sense of opening up, ease to the contractions in the mind, to what pains, what hurts. We offer ease and spaciousness to them in the mind. And the central idea in Buddhism of attachment, which perhaps easier translated or better related to as contraction, as clinging. So there's a sense of holding with tightness. So the idea of clinging and letting go, you see how they are synonymous with this idea of relaxation and opening up the body, hence opening up the mind, creating the conditions for the mind to be aware, to see, and for wisdom to let go on its own. So by relaxing the body, we create the conditions as if we're planted the seed, we're watering the soil to allow that seed of wisdom growing and letting go to occur. So the idea also of opening up, letting go, this central idea of letting go of contractions. So I'm making two distinctions here just to highlight them, not for them to be confused. So when we relax the body, we're creating the conditions for the mind to relax. We are not necessarily forcing the contractions in the mind. Say if there is a fear, or if there is a sadness, or if there is a regret, or million other things happening, which are contractions in the mind. We're not forcing them to open up. It doesn't work that way. The way it works best is creating the conditions, so relaxing the body as much as possible. And then when awareness is more settled, awareness becoming aware of what is arising, then, and maybe awareness becomes aware of these contractions, bringing in the perspective, perhaps, the container, allowing the practice to happen in a container of intending to let go, the intention being there, but not forcing. So the container, the intention is there. And yet we're very patiently offering generosity, offering kindness, offering curiosity, offering patience to the contractions in the mind. So offering this generosity of spirit, which has been another theme that we've been exploring together today, is the container of the practice, is a perspective to hold awareness in. And there's this sense of both gentle curiosity, kindness, benevolence, taking a bigger perspective than just the small perspective that we have, but a wider perspective, opening it up wide. Perhaps even instead of taking the me first person perspective, popping up and taking a more global, as if you were sitting on top of a mountain and looking at the situation as at yourself and perhaps other beings you're entangled with. From a bird's eye view, from a different perspective. So as awareness is patient, it's not pushing, it's not saying, okay, let go, open up. It's not doing that. It's just offering. It's just offering kindness and patience and observing and trying different perspectives, trying just to be with gently, kindly. And little by little, with the spirit of generosity, the knots, the holdings will open up. So through patience, through gentle curiosity, through kindness, through compassion, through humility, humor, so many beautiful qualities, and generosity of heart. This letting go happens. Another dimension to also bring up that we've been exploring together is that this idea of generosity of spirit is really synonymous with letting go. Because when we are generous with ourselves, with our attitudes, with ourselves, kind to ourselves, generous with ourselves and others, we're not holding on to something. We're letting go of a grudge. We're letting go of a judgment. We're letting go of something we own, perhaps with generosity with others. So there's, generosity is synonymous with lack of contraction. So generosity of spirit is synonymous with non-attachment, with letting go. It's just that when we bring more attention, more emphasis to the idea of generosity of spirit, largeness of heart, it gets imbued, we get imbued with a brightness with a sense of beauty and grace and joy and delight, spaciousness. Our heart sings when there is the sense of generosity of spirit, openness of heart, which may not be quite present, that beauty, that joy, that brightness, the sense of grace. When we think of letting go, heart may not be open to that, equating those two, even though it's there already, but emphasizing, putting more emphasis on the brightness of giving, of our attitude, generosity of our attitude, kindness of our intentions, offers more brightness. And in that brightness, what we also explored today in the guided meditation was when we realize, when we have the sense of generosity, there's so much that we actually we feel empowered because we can have a perspective with our words, with our thoughts, with our actions, embody the sense of largesse, offering supportive words to a friend, being strong for them, being kind to them is a sense. Offer is sharing our resources, is sharing from this sense of beautiful generosity. So, most importantly, perhaps at the end of the practice, by recognizing how much we have to give. Again, not just in what we own, but in our thoughts, in our words, in our spirit. How powerful we actually are, how much agency we have beyond the limited notion that we have of ourselves. Not getting in our own way, recognizing our own magnificence. And it just so happens that generosity of spirit is one of the pillars of joy. There's a teaching in Tibetan Buddhism that there are 8 pillars to joy, and the 8 are, I'll just mention them briefly. I've been teaching about them and we'll be teaching more about them actually during happy hour in the evenings. So the 8 are perspective, humility, humor, acceptance, forgiveness, gratitude, compassion, and generosity. And it turns out that actually generosity of spirit subsumes all these 8. So just to end with how generosity of spirit really is a pillar to joy. The more we give, the more we realize our own resourcefulness, our own abundance, how much we can give of our perspective, kindness, etc., etc. Even if it's the perspective of instead of say, poor me, we say, just like me. Other people suffer just like me. I suffer just like them. There's a sense of compassion, for example, that can expand, saying the common humanity. So anyway, without getting into too much detail. So if you're interested in the 8, I'll be talking a lot more about the 8 pillars in Happy Hour, which is a program from 6 to 7 p.m. California time. So, but just to say, the idea of generosity of spirit, which is a pillar of joy, which brings up, which helps us live more joyfully in this life without a sense of scarcity, is connected to the idea of relaxation and letting go. They're all connected. Relaxing, letting go is not a heavy, sad practice. Its destination is joy via generosity of spirit. So I think that's enough for now. A lot of ideas. And I would love to hear some reflections if any of you would like to share what's coming up for you from the practice this morning. Maybe a word or a phrase you can share in chat if you wish. Or if you would like to share a question, all are welcome. And given that there is a bit of a pause between, a bit of a delay rather, between Zoom, where I'm broadcasting through YouTube, I'll take a little pause. It takes, I think, about 30 seconds until I say something here. Shows up on Zoom, gets streamed on YouTube. You guys see it. A comment or a question is typed, and then another few seconds until it's broadcasted and I see it. So the floor is yours. Any questions? Or reflections that might have come up from the practice this morning? I don't see any questions or comments yet. So I invite us to sit together, maybe letting all these words, all these reflections, the connections between relaxation, letting go, generosity of spirit, and joy, to sit. I see one reflection. Thank you. I read it out loud. I appreciate the separation of recognizing tension and then intending to relax. Yeah, thank you for that reflection. Yeah. And to further highlight what you are bringing up, to recognize the tension in the body, intending to relax, and also recognizing the tension or the contraction in the mind and intending to relax without forcing it. The other reflection, Phil asks, I'm interested in the relationship between the joy that arises from concentration and which arises from Brahma-vihara practice. Yeah. So they are related. They're absolutely related. And we use one word for joy. It seems like we use the same word for what arises in Brahma-vihara practice as well as concentration practice. So they're a little different. So here's how I would, so there's similarities. It's like a Venn diagram. If this is my Venn diagram here, two circles. There are overlaps, but there are areas that they're different. What a Venn diagram. Anyway, so whoop, there are areas that are overlapped, the same, and areas that are different. So the joy that arises, or that what's translated as joy that arises from concentration practice, the word in Pali is piti. Piti is also translated as rapture. So the sense of joy that arises, there's a sense of delight, there's this joy, there's bubbling, there's kind of this bubbly happiness, bubbly, rapturous joy that arises in concentration practice. Which, by the way, just to complicate a little more, Brahma-vihara practices, say metta, also can be practiced as a concentration, as a samatha practice, in which case piti can arise as a concentration practice. So what it can feel like is a sense of bubbly delight, happiness, as in falling in love with the object, or just a sense of that kind of joy. The sense of joy that arises from Brahma-vihara practice, from metta, from kindness, from happiness for the happiness of others, mudita, etc. That joy is more similar to it's a uplifting delight in the heart, is more akin to pamaja, which is it's a word in Pali translated as delight, as gladness. There's a gladness in the heart. So they feel a little differently. So Phil and others, I invite you to explore in your own practice how there are some similarities and how there are differences in the way these joys arise. Brian asks, it feels very strange to be making an offering of something I don't want, like tension or anger. That doesn't seem like generosity to me. Shouldn't I be offering up something I value? Excellent question, Brian. Perfect question. I appreciate that. Yes. So, yeah, it's, I like your question because it reminds me of this other teaching that in Buddhism you're supposed to, well, one form, well, not that you're supposed to, but there are different forms of generosity, and the highest form is considered to be kingly or queenly. I like to, kingly or queenly giving. So you give up what you value the most, what you love the most. So what Brian is bringing up is, well, actually it's my tension or anger I don't quite like. It's like giving somebody something you don't like. So how to work with that? So this is what I suggest in working with it. So suppose you're sitting, and what comes up is this sense of tightness, of anger. Oh, it's yes, it's painful, it's tight, it's difficult. So the idea of offering it up and putting it on the altar is consider it as you're putting it on the lap, on the altar with the Buddha, the Kuan Yin. Here it is. Here it is. Can you hold it with me? Can you hold it with me? So you're offering it up the same way that we offer our challenges, our difficulties, so that we're not alone. Offering it up. That's the way of offering it up. And actually come to think of it, in some way there is a generosity in there, that there's not a sense of contraction or tightness. There's a sense of recognizing that you need you, whoever this you is, you can't do this alone, this thing. We think we're, responsible for everything, but there's a sense of humility. So in there's a generosity of spirit, which again is part of the eight pillars that I mentioned. There's a sense of humility. So I invite you, Brian, to consider the sense of humility in that way. It's not the sense of gift-giving generosity, but here's a sense of humility in offering it up and putting it on the altar. So play around with that and see how that might hopefully support you. Okay. It is 12 o'clock in California, 12:01 in fact, and other times in other places in the world that you guys are joining from. London might be 8 p.m. now, Simone, if you're still on. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for your practice, for showing up as you do, to do this practice both for yourself and for all beings whose lives you touch with humility, with generosity of time, spirit, care, and with love. May you be well, safe, and joyous, and know your own beauty. And may we all be of service in the world. Thank you all. Be well. Take good care. The retreat ends on Sunday, so next Wednesday, the RVs will be back in supporting and hosting. So it's been lovely to be with you today and support your practice. Thank you. Much love. Bye. 9 a.m. in Hawaii, Amy. Sweet. It's great.